Well, I forgot I had a bumper back here. This is an old original bumper, and I don't even remember where I got this thing, but it's been back here for a long time. So this is a front bumper. I can't see either end of it, but I was looking for the tag lights or license plate lamp lights, but this doesn't have it, so that means it's a front. But this is all bent. It's original chrome and all that. But what I'm seeing right now is there is the long bracket up there. But these are the main ones I need to get the bumper hung on the car. So I don't know if that long one's on this side or not. Doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, it is. Sure is. Yep, there it is. So I actually do have a couple of brackets for him. How cool is that? Well, we won't have to buy any new ones of those. Well, hopefully they're not all beat up. They look pretty much straight so far, but they'll have to be blasted. So I think what I'm going to do is dig this out, and then I'll have to go in and disassemble the bumper to get the main frame brackets off, and then these long support bars off. But that's awesome, man. I like that. Well, I got the bumper drug out of the mud back there. So this would be a decent used bumper for a, a usable bumper for somebody's rat rod 55. If this wasn't kinked out, it could be, probably straightened up a little bit with a hammer, but anyway, I'm not worrying about it. I don't need it. So I am going to be needing these. Got to have these brackets to bolt it to the frame rails. And I need these. Now I need to look at his bumpers in the garage, and I need to see, because one of the bumpers does not have these. This style of bracket is on the rear as well. They're different, they're not the same, but I need to look and see, and I am hoping that it's the front bumper of his that's missing the brackets, because I have them. And these are actually straight, and usually when you find them used, they're bent, and this is all the channel piece. The top is bowed out. These are usually bent, and I've seen these cracked before from being bent. So that's pretty cool, man. It's not going to be fun getting all that hardware out of there with all that tar and all that stuff in there, but somebody had them rope tied around the bumper at one time. That's cool. I know. Yep, both of those are straight. Well, that's pretty cool. I guess I need to go out to the shed and see if I'm going to get lucky or not, and if I got the correct bumper brackets I need, or he needs. Oh my goodness, this place is a mess. So this is my shed. I've got parts galore out here. Alright, that is his original front bumper right there that was on his car. And it does not have the side bars, so that's awesome. So I've got the long bars. He's missing those, so he won't, that'll save him a little money. I just don't know where in the heck what to do with the rear one. I'm gonna have to do some Indiana Jones stuff in here and try to find that. So the rear bumper, is all the way back there against the wall going this way. You can barely see it on top of them white boxes. That's the back side of the bumper that you can see where the curve is. But anyway, I went to the right over here to that side, and I seen it. I actually thought it was over here, and it does not have the long bars on it. So neither of his bumpers have the long bars. Another one of those items that shop lost of his. So he is going to have to buy, I keep hitting my head on this stupid board, he is going to have to buy those long bars for the rear bumper. But at least I have the fronts. Well, I actually forgot about the bumper that was on the either the 2-door or the 4-door that Randy brought me. So here's a rear bumper. One of them didn't have a bumper, the other one did, if I remember right. But anyway, it has those brackets in the back that I need, but it also has the side bars. The problem is I have another rear bumper, just the main bar stuff, the chrome stuff, but I don't have these on that bumper, and that's the one I'm going to be using on the two-door post. So I'm going to need these brackets. It's the only set I have, so I can't give them away and then have to turn around and pay however much it is to get a set. So, and I may end up having to look online just to see how much the brackets are. It may be cheaper just to buy new ones than messing with the hours of labor taking these off, blasting them and painting them and all that kind of garbage. So anyway, I wish I'd had another set of them. I'd have had him set up, but I can't give away them brackets. I gotta have those. All right, guys, so I got these used bumpers in here. This front bumper I have had for many years, and I don't even remember where I got that. You know, that might have came with the 55 hardtop when it came to me as a project. I don't remember. But when I dug it out of the fenced area, it has its brackets on it, which is awesome. Now this is the rear bumper off, I think it was the two-door post or four-door post that Randy donated to the channel. And of course the bumper center's tweaked, but it has all its brackets on there. Now Steve's car, it had bumpers on it before it went to that shop for restoration, and he gave me his old bumpers. Now the brackets, these long bar brackets, all four of them are missing. They are not on his old bumpers. And he bought brand new bumpers. Now he bought bumper sections. You can buy these bumpers in pieces. So you buy an end, a corner piece, you know, both corner pieces, and then you buy the center, and then you have to buy the guards. Now Steve's car is going to have all the accessory guards on it, on all four corners. So it has the grill guard, accessory grill guard, and the side overrider bumper extension pieces, and he's got them for the rears too. So I have never installed those accessory bumper end pieces before. I have done a grill guard, but not the side pieces. So this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me. But anyway, when you buy those new bumpers, if you buy the, you know, the 3-piece ones, or technically 5-piece bumpers like factory, because they're seamed here, they're riveted together. When you buy these pieces new, they sell a hardware kit for this. So Steve bought the bumper pieces and he got the hardware. It does not come with the brackets. You got to have these two brackets that bolt to the frame, and it's got them on the other one too. And then you got to have these support bars. And a lot of times when you find these used, they're usually bent or tweaked out, you know, from side impact or, you know, running into something. So I just went and looked online, and for these two brackets here and these two brackets here, you can buy it as a kit, and it was about 125 bucks. If you had to buy it all individually, these are average around 25, 26 bucks a piece. These are around 30 to 35 a piece. And then of course you're going to have shipping on top of that. So what I'm trying to figure out is, do I take the time in disassembling these bumpers? Because, you know, I'm going to have to probably cut off a lot of these bolts. These are going to have to be blasted, all these pieces blasted. They're going to have to be primed and then painted. So do I spend the time, or just have Steve get new ones that I can just bolt on and be done with it? So this is kind of where I'm in a dilemma, because it's basically about 125 bucks for one bumper and 125 bucks for the other bumper. So that's 250 bucks. So I don't, you know, I just don't really know what to do. I have never used aftermarket ones before, so I don't know if they will fit, or how well they fit, we'll say. Now, if you're thinking about getting the smoothie bumpers, like I have on my hardtop, they are one piece and all the hardware is shaved. So, you know, they don't have carriage bolts in them, and it's all a one-piece unit. It doesn't have these guards. It's just a smooth bumper. I have them on the front and rear of my car, and I love them. These brackets here are already welded to the bumper. So if you buy the smoothie bumper, it comes with these, but it doesn't come with these. It has bolts welded to the backside in here, and that's how you would attach your bumper pieces. So Now, this bumper, these rear brackets and everything, I don't care about the bumper itself. I don't. But I have a rear bumper that I'm going to be putting on the two-door post that I had probably in the late 90s. I had one of my old buddies. He's no longer with us. His name was Bruce Page. I took my bumper to his place, and I was a kid. I didn't have any money, and I didn't have a welder. And I had him weld these seams here. I was going to do, you know, smooth it with filler, and I was going to paint the bumper body color. It was kind of popular in the 90s to do that, and it's just a good way to save money. I kind of want to use that bumper on the two-door post because I'm not going to run a front bumper on that car. So I think I'll just do it body color. I may paint it some kind of silver pearl or something. I just don't know yet. But I kind of wanted to use that bumper. Now the bumper's straight and it has these brackets already on it, but I don't have these. So if I give these to Steve, I'm not going to have a set for myself. So I'm just kind of in a dilemma. Do we order this crap and him have to spend that much money? Or do I see if I can just scrounge up a pair somewhere, you know what I mean? Now, when I bought the four-door for my wife, that guy's place, I went over there a few weeks back, probably right before Christmas, and actually stopped by Steve's house first. But I went over there, the front and rear bumpers from my wife's four-door are still there. And he said I could have them. But anyway, at the time that I was going to get them, they were in between two buildings during the summer, and there was, you know, brush, and there's blackberry bushes and everything, sticker bushes everywhere. And he said I'd probably better wait until the winter to get them. So I just never have went back and got them. But when I left Steve's house that day right before Christmas, I went over there to his place, and he is not in good health. So I couldn't go get those bumpers. So I'm hoping those brackets are on those bumpers to where I'll have them. But, you know, it kind of sucks. I don't mind donating parts to Steve's car that he needs to save him money, but I still have 2 more 55s to build. But I do hate to see him spend that much money on brackets, man. I mean, I think that's just insane. So I just don't know at this point whether to, you know, spend the time breaking these down and then blasting them and painting them. I'll have to, you know, epoxy or etch prime them, and then I'm going to have to go in and put a paint on them so they're coated so they don't rust. So this really kind of sucks, man. But anyway, the thing about it is these are here. So, and these bumpers, they look, the brackets, they look pretty good. This one does have a raised up spot here, but I can dolly that back down rather quickly. I don't know if this one's that way or not. This one's indented right here, so I can dolly it back out. But if you need to put brackets on your bumpers, that's the orientation in case you need to know. So this is the rear bumper you're looking at right here. So that would be the right side of the car, the passenger side, and that's the way the bracket is oriented. So the channel side's going toward the rear tire, basically. And then on the front, it's kind of the same way. The channel side's going toward the tire. You have an angled section of this brace and then a straight bracket, like a 90 degree in this. The 90 degree goes to the bumper and the angled part goes to the chassis. So, this is not going to be fun, man. Because, you know, these bolts are going to be a nightmare to get out of here. I'm probably just going to have to cut them off, but they've got, you know, it looks like asphalt on them that I was thinking it would just flake off there, but that didn't happen. I'll have to bust all that off there. Try hammer and chisel, or maybe I'll try a flat scraper and see what that does. But I don't know, man. It's so he'd have about let's see, 125 and 125 is 250 in that stuff, and that's before shipping. And if I have to go in here on the clock and break these apart and then blast them, prime them, and then paint them. Now, if I use spray paint on this, which I normally wouldn't do. If I use just spray paint on these, this will go quick. Like, it won't cost that much. And that's probably what I just ought to do. You know what I mean? I mean, I would love to put some, you know, nice urethane paint on those so they won't rust. But everything will have to be prepped. If I paint them, like with urethane car paint out of a spray gun, they'll have to be all prepped out. They'll have to be hung up. They'll have to be painted. The paint gun will have to be cleaned a couple of times. So you got to factor in all the materials and the cost of labor and all that kind of stuff. So now if I just went in and spray painted these, it'd go pretty damn quick. You know what I mean? I've got some aerosol etching primer I could put on there, and then maybe just hit them with some, you know, Krylon or Rust-Oleum, like a semi-gloss black or whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as they're not some neon color where it looks like the circus is in town, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, I think that's what I'll do, because I know he's got a lot of money invested in it so far. And I mean, if I blast them and clean them up and prep them pretty good, that spray paint, it'll work. And it's not like they're going to be out in the sunlight to get, you know, the UV to break down that paint rather quickly, because they're going to be up underneath the car. So I think that's what it will. I'll just do that, because I'm all about trying to save him money. You know, he's my cousin. I love him, and you know, I don't want him to have a huge hit on the wallet. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just try to do a kind of a quickie job on them and make it look good. But the bad thing is I have to make them look nice when they're done, even if I spray paint them, because at this point somebody could get underneath that car and it looks like $1 million under there. Like, the underneath the body's coated, the frame's painted, everything's detailed. It's really, really nice under the car. So you don't want to get down to this final detail and then just start, you know, slack working this stuff together. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to bust them apart, and I'll try to do it quickly, but we'll see how it goes. I used a die grinder with a cone burr on it, and I went in and marked these brackets, and I marked them in the areas where it's going to meet up to the chassis, so you'll never see it. But I went in and basically engraved it with an arrow up. And, you know, once I tear all these brackets apart and hang them up, it'll keep me from getting them mixed up, you know, front to rear, left to right. But also on the reassembly process, I'll have something to go off of. But anyway, so they're all marked. And again, the chassis goes up right here, so you're not going to see this. And then I did it here. This meets up to the chassis, so I did a mark there with an arrow going up, and I did it on the rear bumper as well to all of them. So it would be easy to get something mixed up. And I honestly don't know if these brackets here are the same as these front to rear. I don't know if those are the same. They look very, very similar, but I'll know more once I get them broke apart. Now, I'm not going to worry about taking the entire bumper apart. So what I'm going to try to do is get in here with the cutoff wheel and try to slice these bolts. Well, not that one, but that one there and that one there and that one. These are still riveted. This one's actually bolted, so the car at one time's had an accident that bumper come off of. This is the front, so anyway, the brackets are still good, so I'm just going to reuse them. All right, so I'm in my house, and I'm test fitting these front brackets that I removed from the original bumper, and they don't quite line up with the bolt holes. They're off just a little bit, so I had to go back in there, clamp that in my vise, and spread the two ears out here a little bit. It's just what you get with aftermarket and trying to mix it with original crap. So I got the bag of hardware out and dumped it out. There is not one lock washer in this kit for the bumper bolts, which is really stupid, unless you're supposed to Loctite them. I don't know. I'd feel a little bit safer with the lock washer, but hey, what do I know, you know? These are coarse thread, they're not fine thread, so if they just started working loose, the nuts would back off pretty easily. So, I don't even know if they're long enough, actually. They put a lock washer in, it's probably close enough, I guess. So now I've got to go dig out some lock washers, and I'm going to need them for the front and the rear, I'm assuming, because nobody knows how to give you a correct hardware kit with stuff that you need. Well, it wasn't very fun, but I got them out of there. Those rivets are tough to get out. That's the aftermath of the crap there. So I got all this stuff off, and I kind of straightened up some of them rear brackets. They had a couple little dips in them, and I hammered them out, hammered and dollied them out. But that one had something sharp right there, so I hit it with the 36 grit disc and knocked it off there. So they need blasted up, and then I'll have to prime them and paint them. But I've got the fronts test fit to the bumper, but I haven't test fit the rears yet. I'm gonna have to do that. If you have to tweak around on a bumper at all, these ears being this long on these brackets, that's what bends. If you have to, you know, tweak the bumper up or down, that is what needs to bend, is those two little ears. And it's thick metal and it does bend, but it takes quite a bit to bend it. So I'm going to straighten them all out, make sure everything goes on evenly, and then try to fit it to the car and see how that goes. Then we'll have to tweak it and bend on it. But oh man, that was a good amount of labor there. Well, I've done some cleanup on aisle 5 here, aisle 55 I guess. All right, so I got the wires ran. I put some of that weave style loom, whatever the heck you want to call it. I put some of that on there, on the 3 wires for that. And I taped up quite a bit of the bottom and then run it down through there. I had a little bit of slack up here, but I ran down in there, so it's in that. That's where the wires are coming through. There's no grommet on that, and I don't really like that, but I mean, it's the way they done it. So anyway, I re-greased this after cleaning everything. I put a washer behind the O-ring on the gas fill cap. So now when you screw it on there, it's pretty much straight. If you like super tighten it, it goes just a little bit past, but it's pretty good. So I got the overspray cleaned off of everything. I blasted, painted this, put on a new rubber seal. So this in here, it looks really nice now. If somebody wants to, you know, be back here and have him open that, at least it looks nice. It doesn't look like it did before, which was really, really crappy. I need to touch up this spot here, but I'm gonna wait until I get ready to do more white touch-up stuff, like on the trim and stuff like that, and then I'll open the gas door and do that. So right now I need to go ahead and close it, and if it fits up there like it's supposed to after it closes, and I'm going to go ahead and put the lens and the bezel and all that on, and it'll be done. Alright guys, so package came in the mail today that my wife actually ordered, and I wanted to show you something that she got me. You're probably already seeing it. So I've been needing a sock hat, and anyway, it's got all the moon stuff on it. It was $3.88, I think, is how much that sock cap was, which I thought was worth it. It's really thin, but it'll keep my bald head a little bit warmer and not having anything. And then she got me this. It's an apron, and it's got a lot of stuff on it. I need an apron for when I'm buffing a car because the compound goes everywhere. So I need a new apron because this old one I have here, the strap rotted off of it. But anyway, I got a new apron, and I think this was $4 and something. So for under $10, I got a hat and a apron. I think that's pretty cool, man. That's like a hot rodder's paradise. Temu, who would have thought? But when I got on Temu, she told me to get on there and look around because there's just all kinds of car parts and stuff on there. I got on there looking around, and I don't remember, I was looking at clamps, I think, like billet clamps for like hoses. And when you click on something, there will be other little parts that come up down at the bottom. And this was on there for 12 bucks. I should have took it out of the wrapper, but I'm going to show you this. Actually, I'm going to pull this out of the wrapper and show it to you. This is actually the shift linkage for a Harley Davidson or something, and it was $12, and it had the measurements and everything. And I was looking at it and I was like, man, that'd be really cool for throttle linkage, and I think it's going to work perfectly. So let me get it unpackaged and I'll show you. All right, so this is it. I don't know what year or what anything for a Harley, but put in their shift linkage Harley on Temu and I'm sure it'll come up. They had fully polished ones that weren't black. And then they had this one that was black, but it has speed holes in it, and I thought that was really awesome. Anyway, it's Heim joints on the ends, and I'm sure these are metric, you know what I mean? But my idea was this kind of a rig right here. That would make some kick-ass throttle linkage, man. So, and I may need to shorten it down here at this end or something so to make it work. It looks like it's a little bit long, but that this could be altered, like this piece could be altered to make it go back a little further and still have full throttle. But for 12 bucks, man, that is that's awesome. It cost you more money for the aluminum and to have it CNC cut, you know what I mean? But I think it's really neat shaped. Anyway, I'm a detail guy, and details cost money, but when they cost 12 bucks, yeah, I'm all in, man. I opened up hung up the apron so I could open it up for you so you can get a better shot of it. I think it's pretty cool. You know, being a car guy, there are a lot of vintage logos there, and I think that's cool, man. Anyway, the last thing I got from Temu was this. This is an E-clip assortment, and it's supposed to be stainless steel, and it kind of looks like stainless steel. Anyway, it's an E-clip assortment. There's a whole bunch of them in there. That was $1.69 or something for that entire assortment. And if you've ever taken a Edelbrock carburetor apart to rebuild it, sometimes you lose the little E-clips that go on there. So this will come in super handy. But I'm pretty sure Steve is actually going to need a couple of these. Now these are probably most likely metric. They're metric because, you know, they're coming from overseas. I'm hoping that these will work on his front bench seat because it takes an E-clip on each side to lock on the seat backs. But he does have his originals, but they're kind of crusty, and I was hoping, I didn't buy those just for his seat. There's enough of them in there that I can donate 2 of them to him. But anyway, I'm always needing that stuff, and for that price, I'm not turning that down, you know what I mean? I did get, actually, it came in like a day before yesterday, I think, because some of the stuff, it says local on there, which means it's in the States. And I got an assortment like this of, can't remember what the heck I done with them. Right here. I got a new assortment of these hairpins for like when I make my linkages and stuff for the carburetors on these cars. But anyway, I wanted some stainless steel ones. And that again, I think that was $1.28 or $2.28 or something for that assortment. And it said stainless in the description, and it also says 304 stainless steel right there, and these are not stainless steel. That is zinc coating. That is zinc plating on that, guarantee you. So whether it's actually stainless or not underneath, I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure if I stick a magnet to that, it would, oh yeah. Anyway, not stainless. These are though.